4 days left in the MLB season. It is Thursday, and the last day of the regular season is on Sunday. So not a ton of races left. I think a lot has been decided in terms of divisions. There's only 2 divisions remaining. And there's one race that I think is nearly done. We're going to talk about 4 races that are still out there. One I think is pretty much done is the American League East. I think Baltimore will wrap that up fairly soon. Not due to Tampa Bay struggling. They're not. They might. I think they're at 62 losses, so I think they would have to win out to get 100 wins, but still a very good season from Tampa Bay. But just Baltimore has just went crazy. I honestly think if the season went another 2 weeks, they would have the best record in baseball and not the Braves. I mean, Jordan's not here, so he can't yell at me for that. But Baltimore has just, even without Felix Bautista, their flamethrower closer has been injured for a while. It's just been amazing for them. And so I think that race is about to get wrapped up. We'll see how both of them do in the playoffs. But what do you see about the American League East race first, Jake?
Yeah, the American League East, I will agree with Evan right here. I'll agree with you, Evan. I don't think there's a very much of a race right here. And again, it's not due to the Tampa Bay struggle, it's just due to how good the Orioles lineup and pitching staff is. You know, Green Kramer going tonight for the Orioles. Um, yeah, I just think that in the coming, days or games, the Orioles is gonna wrap this division up.
So yeah, Baltimore plays the Boston at home for 4. They start that tonight. Boston's around 500. They should take care of that. And then Tampa Bay will play Toronto, where, anyways, we'll get to that in a little bit. So that's the first race is the American League East. What is the best race left? I'll answer this first and then I'll go to Jake. I think the best race left is because it's one of the wild card ones. I honestly think what's very interesting is the American League wild card. And I know Jake's gonna be surprised at this because the NL is good, and we're gonna talk about the NL too. But with the American League wild card, you got 3 teams. Toronto, which is strong now. They're looking very good. I believe they're a game or a half a game above the Astros right now. They have the second wild card, and the third wild card is the Astros. The Mariners are a game and a half back. But here's where it gets interesting. The Mariners get the Rangers at home. The Rangers currently lead the American League West, which is another race. That's going to be an intense series at home. I think that's 4 games, but it might be 3. I could be wrong on that. So that's going to be very intense. The Astros, they face the Diamondbacks in Arizona this weekend. The Astros, they could have put away their playoff spot a while ago. We did a video on this about a month ago saying that the Astros were the experienced team, that they were going to lead us. Well, that's baseball sometimes. The Astros, they got swept at home by the Royals. They had an easy schedule all September. They have not put it away. It's still very likely they're going to make the playoffs, but the Diamondbacks have a lot to play for too when they're playing them this weekend. So I think for sure, I think Toronto's in a good spot. They're going to play a Rays team that might have some incentive to rest some players because the Rays are in and they're probably not going to win the division. So Toronto's in, I think. And then you look at that final wild card spot. Yes, Houston has a comfortable with 4 games left. A game and a half is very comfortable. But say the Mariners win tonight and then you're going in, the Astros are only 1 game up on the Mariners. That's an interesting race. So that's my most interesting race is the Astros and Mariners. Who's going to get that final wild card spot? What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I think the NL wild card I think is a good race. I hope the Marlins taking the final wild card spot, but I'm gonna go with Evan right here. I'm gonna say the American League West. American wild card, excuse me. Toronto Blue Jays, being 2 games up on the Mariners right now, and the Houston Astros being a game and a half up on the Mariners. I think the Blue Jays, I agree with Evan right here. I think the Blue Jays are in a good spot to take the second spot in the AL wild card. I think, you know, we were talking about the Mariners, and they start a series with the Houston Astros tonight, right? So
The Mariners play the. I'm gonna double check this, but the Mariners play. No, the Mariners play the Rangers, and I got to double check. It's a 4 game series, so that's a ginormous series for multiple reasons. The
it
Astros
is a
then
ginormous
start
series.
versus the Diamondbacks, but I want to
It
say.
is a gina
Go ahead.
it is a ginormous series because the Texas wins that they can clinch the AL West. But if Seattle wins the series, they will more than likely jumping to the third wild card spot,
Actually,
jumping over
yes.
the Houston
Let's
Astros.
talk about the AL West, and then we'll finish with the NL wild card. So the American League West, we were talking a little bit about the wild card race, but Texas is now 2.5 ahead. You again, another on the face, you look at it, well, 2.5, that's insurmountable. They're gonna win the division. Not quite, because you play the Mariners 4 games in a row. So what if Seattle takes 3 out of 4 and they're at home? You know the fans are going to show out. That's going to be a big series. That's very possible. So Texas is very likely to win this division. If you survive it, what do I mean survive? You split the series. That's all you got to do if you're Texas. You split the series, you're looking very pretty. You lose 3 or 4, it's getting pretty interesting now. We don't know what Houston's going to do in Arizona, but we know for a fact if you're losing the Mariners, guess what? They're catching ground. You lose tonight, Mariners are only a game and a half back. You lose on Friday, we got a ball game in the AL West. They're only a half game left. Maybe the Astros jump. We'll see. But anyways, I want to end this talking about the NL wild card. We got your Marlins in it. I'll hand it over to you, Jake, first. What do you see about this? Actually, before I do that, the teams they're facing this weekend. So the Reds are still in it. They're a game and a half back. They're facing the Cardinals this weekend. The Marlins are facing the Pirates this weekend. They're currently tied with the Cubs in the final spot, who are facing the Brewers. And then the Diamondbacks, as mentioned, are facing the Astros. So Jake, how do you get a feel on this race?
Yeah, the Marlins have obviously been struggling. Right now they're tied with the Chicago Cubs for that final wild card spot after the Cubs has just lost to the Braves last night, and the Marlins beat the Mets. Marlins, by the way, finished in that series with the Mets, and then they go to a 3-game series with the Pittsburgh Pirates, who right now is facing the Philadelphia Phillies. So, go Phillies. Um, so I mean, obviously the Marlins have been struggling, but they get the third wild card spot because they have the tiebreaker over the Chicago Cubs. The Arizona Diamondbacks, Chicago White Sox helped us out a lot today by beating the Arizona Diamondbacks today by a score of 3-1. So
Yeah. So I see I don't have a gut feeling on this one. This one is I think the best race I said was the American League wild card, but this one to me is the most toss up. I don't think we for sure know what's going to happen. The Diamondbacks have a comfortable 2-game lead. But again, the Diamondbacks are hot right now and the Astros are not. So all signs point to the Diamondbacks actually having a pretty good weekend series against the Astros, but we don't know that for sure. So the Diamondbacks got to stay afloat. I think the Reds have too much ground to make up. They got too much they got to hope for, but they're not out of it. They're only a game and a half. And I'm gonna save my prediction on this one or my take, because I actually don't really know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be some exciting baseball on the NL side to wrap it up.